Kel-Tec is the largest gun maker in Florida, but now they've expanded. They didn't stop a beat in Florida. They had to build a new facility right here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Behind me is a plant dedicated to producing one specific gun for now. That gun is the PR57. Let's go in and have a look.
All the products we make in Florida and all the products we actually design for Kel-Tec are designed primarily with two specific intentions. The first intention is affordability. And in American manufacturing, American labor, we live within the marketplace of American labor. We can't go offshore anything and go for that $3 an hour workforce. So the design of all these products require us to be very, very efficient with our manufacturing process.
Well, when I approached George originally and said, hey, what was the whole purpose, and why did you do this and why did you come up with the PR57? Being the everyman's concealed carry gun, the first time concealed carry owner, this is the option he wanted them to go to. So in his historic fashion, the innovation is going to be there and the affordability. And so when I see something that's a classic George Kellgren model come out, I get incredibly enthused about that because I know the world hasn't seen it. And then someone like me, I've got the opportunity to now go put that in people's hands around the globe. So you can't get much more exciting than that.
We chose to make the PR57 here because it was a nice little pilot program for this facility, and we felt it'd be a lot easier to have a new model done from scratch at a new facility rather than have half of it done in Florida, half here, and try to get all the parts to coordinate with each other. Simply to have it all here in this facility, which is pretty far away from our Florida factory, it just made more sense that way.
The first process that gets done in this business is machining. You have to make parts in order to employ assembly or finishing or anything like that. You have to make parts, you have to make fixtures.
We get a model file from Florida for a new part, and we manipulate the model file in 3D, and then we can create the CAM program to put into the machines.
It's easy to make one, but when you have to make, 50,000 in a year, you need all of those to be able to function, and they have to be able to interchange and function. So, and that's what we've been going through is programming processes and tolerances and stuff like that. Now we're to the point where we can actually get a work order that tells us to run 5,000 pieces. The material that comes in is, we have it pre-cut to our lengths that we need. So the 12-foot bars have already been reduced to 4-foot length bars that are for our lays for the bar feeders. That takes care of our trunnions and our slide, our first op on our slide. And then we have some plate fixturing that we use that does our trigger, our extractor, our slide stop. I have 2 lays that are running right now, and one's completing the barrel for us, and the other one's doing the trunnion.
So here we have our QA station. It's a roaming QA. The personnel for this position will go machine to machine throughout the day, typically about 3 times a day.
The expansion into Wyoming, particularly deciding to go with a new product out here, was intentional. The important factor of any new product releases, we're not doing an AR-15, we're not doing an 1911 that's been seen. Everything we do is brand new, and we know based off experiences that a product when released usually has about a 10-year arc of popularity, from peak popularity to where it tapers off. So we wanted to set something up here in Wyoming that has longevity. Now, if you take the Sub 2000, for instance, that thing has been around for 20 years. So generally, the rule of thumb is about 10 years from a product's inception to when you retire it from the marketplace.
We're always going through and pushing the boundaries on how can we keep it as tight as possible to make sure that anybody that wants to exercise those Second Amendment rights has the ability to do it.
The Kel-Tec PR57 has some very unique features that you don't see much these days, including using stripper clips to put 20 rounds of 5.7 into the gun. Stripper clips have been around since the invention of semi-automatic pistols. Ever heard of the Mauser broom handle? Well, this new gun, the PR57, has George Kellgren's unique stamp.
So the new gun is a lock breech rotary barrel. It's not a new technology. The way we looked at this is that the locking lugs are at the nose of the barrel, and what it allows us to do is use a rotational unlocking system that delays the extraction process long enough for the peak pressures within the chamber to decline to where you can safely extract and eject the casing. Now you can do that in a number of ways. You can use it with increased mass on the slide, and that you use impulse and inertia to slowly extract the round. And in this case, we pioneered a new method of a rotary locking system and a camming system within the slide itself to incredibly miniaturize the overall weight of the pistol and slim it down quite a bit. One of the most interesting features that I think a lot of people are going to notice that there is no detachable magazine on this particular pistol. And the intention of that was to make the thing extremely simple to operate. You don't have to worry about tactical reloads. You don't want to have to worry about anything like that if you're in a life or death situation in self-defense. Generally, you're looking into environments where the most firearm-related actions are about 3 seconds long, within 3 yards, and usually shooting 3 rounds. So within that field, we want to design something that was specific to that environment. So we designed a product that doesn't have a detachable magazine. It's added complexity. Generally, it's not used. It kind of looks a little bit into the same theory of a revolver. You have the shots you have on there, and then if you're still in a gunfight, you're probably in the wrong place. So with this platform, you have 21 potential opportunities to get out of the situation. Generally, it just takes 3. And with the size and weight, it's a great entry platform for new shooters and primarily designed for the self-defense space.
For production on the frame, it is on a rotary fixture, has a first op and a second op. It has basically a top and a bottom of the frame. And it comes in as a solid piece of aluminum, 7075. It gets put in the first operation, it gets the top of it cut.
This is where we create the frame for the pistol. It's a rotary fixture, so the part can be manipulated 360 degrees in an A-axis. The operators are responsible for deburring the parts and measuring QA in their own parts.
That part will graduate to the second op, which gets all the bottom cut out, the mag well, the trigger well, the other side of the hammer well. That area gets removed. That part comes off complete, and the operators deburr that, measure it, use their gauges and various instruments to measure them, and then they will go off to finishing. The slide, we can do completely in-house heat treating because we do an induction heating. We do an induction heating on the muzzle, and we do an induction heating on the rear of the slide. We can temper those parts in an oven, and we can tumble those parts and send them out to have black nitriding done. So the biggest challenge was to make sure that your fixturing can hold the part in the proper orientation. If the part is at an angle, the slide is at an angle, everything would be cut at an angle. Your lugs on the front of the muzzle would be cut at an angle. Your extractor would be at a different elevation. So you have to be able to have fixturing that's fairly simple to load. It's not too complicated, and there's a safety check that the operator does to see that that part is actually sitting in the fixture correctly.
Ow. Like no recoil at all.
So George really likes the 5.7 millimeter casing. The 5.7 millimeter cartridge is unique in a couple of characteristics. It's incredibly reliable to extract and also feed into a firearm. It's also very easy to stack within a magazine space. Those straight walled casings allow you to go straight vertical. It's very easy with the double stack arrangement. It allows for a very slim design. And so when George saw this develop, immediately in his head, he thought of the applications it could be in future designs for new platforms. And the end stage ballistics of this just lends itself to be beautifully harmonized in the self-defense world.